Gemini, this is your December 2025 horoscope for your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. All month long, the sky is shining a light onto three main areas of your life: home and health, love and relationships, and money and finances. Everything you hear in this reading will tie back to those three themes, because that is where the real growth is happening for you now, Gemini. This year has stretched your mind and your nervous system in ways that even you did not expect. You have juggled conversations, projects, and possibilities, while the deeper part of you has been quietly asking a simple question: what actually matters enough to keep in my life? December does not demand fast answers from you. Instead, it offers a series of moments where scattered pieces begin to fall into place. You will feel this in your daily environment, in your closest bonds, and every time you think about the future of your work and money. Let us start with home and health, because your foundations set the tone for everything else. The month opens with a strong focus on your body, your routines, and the space you move through each day. Your sign is known for its quick mind and fast switch between topics, yet your body is slower and more literal. It remembers every late night, every skipped meal, every tension you brushed off. Early December brings a quiet reckoning with how you've been treating yourself. You may notice simple things first: clutter that suddenly feels too loud, a bedroom that does not really support rest, a work corner that puts you on edge the moment you sit down. You might find yourself cleaning, sorting, or reorganizing with a kind of stubborn clarity. It is not about making everything picture perfect. It is about finally admitting that your nervous system needs a calmer base of operations. When the environment is chaotic, your mind takes on that chaos and amplifies it. Your body also speaks up more directly this month. Sore shoulders, tired eyes, digestive swings, and random energy crashes are not random at all. Each one is information about how your current schedule and stress load are landing in your system. If you have been ignoring symptoms because you were too busy thinking your way through everything, December invites you to bring those concerns into the open. For some Geminis, this looks like booking a doctor or therapist appointment. For others, it is as simple and profound as keeping regular sleep and meal times instead of living on adrenaline and snacks. Home itself may feel like it is in flux. Conversations about living arrangements, roommates, family members, or a potential move can be more active than usual. You might realize that your current space fits an old version of your life, not who you are becoming. That realization can be unsettling, yet it is also exciting. Even if you are not ready to move physically, you can start to reclaim corners of your home that reflect the person you are now, not the person you were 5 years ago. As your inner base shifts, your relational world responds. Love and relationships are a major focus this month. The recent retrograde energy weighed heavily on your partnerships and highlighted misunderstandings, half-finished conversations, and topics you both kept dodging. In December, those threads are still present, but now there is more room for clarity. You are learning how to speak your truth in ways that are real, not defensive, not over-explained. For Geminis who are partnered, this can be an intense but productive period. You may revisit topics like shared responsibilities, long-term plans, and the balance between closeness and personal freedom. Your mind likes variety, and sometimes you forget that your partner cannot read your internal script when it changes. This month invites you to bring your evolving needs into the open and to listen just as closely when your partner does the same. Arguments that flare are not a sign that the bond is doomed. They are signals that something wants to grow up inside the relationship. Across all relationships, your communication style is under gentle revision. There can be moments when you catch yourself using humor to dodge vulnerability, or changing the subject when things get too intense. You might also notice how often you interpret silence as rejection, then fill the gap with anxious stories. December gives you a chance to experiment with a new pattern, staying present a little longer in a hard conversation, asking directly for reassurance instead of testing people, saying what you mean even when your voice shakes. Beneath all of this is the story of your money and finances, which is deeply tied to your sense of worth and your role in the world. The beginning of the month brings information to light around contracts, payments, or shared resources. You may receive news about a deal, a project, or a job that affects your income. Situations that have been vague around money start to clarify, and with that clarity, you get to decide what still works for you. You are being asked to drop any lingering habit of devaluing your own time and skills. Geminis often assume that if something is easy or enjoyable for them, it must not be worth much. December wants you to challenge that belief. You have built knowledge and experience through the years of curiosity and effort. It is fair to let your prices, your salary, or your role reflect that. Conversations about compensation may feel edgy, especially if you grew up in an environment where money was tense or secretive. Still, the sky is supporting you and advocating for yourself. There can also be meaningful changes in how you handle shared finances, whether through business partnerships, family obligations, or intimate relationships. If you have carried a disproportionate share of the load, you may feel ready to renegotiate. If you have leaned heavily on others, you may feel called to step up. Either way, the theme is balance. No more financial arrangements based solely on guilt, fear, or obligation. The agreements that stay need to be ones that respect your energy and your future. And on a deeper level, your relationship with long-term security is evolving. You may find yourself thinking more seriously about savings, debt, retirement, or investments, not in a dry way, but as part of a bigger question about what kind of life you want to build. You are learning that financial choices are part of your spiritual path. The way you use and respect resources is a reflection of how you value your own life force. As the month goes on, the overall energy shifts from confusion and mixed signals into something more steady. Mentally, you feel clearer. The fog that has been hanging over important decisions starts to lift. Your ruling planet moves from the deep internal zones of your chart back into an area that you know well, the one that thrives on ideas, travel, learning, and a sense of wide open possibility. You may feel the urge to study something new, explore a different path, or reconnect with beliefs that inspire you instead of scare you. There is a strong link now between your mental world and your physical health. When your thoughts spiral into panic about the future, your body tightens. When you let your mind play with new options and ideas, your energy rises. December encourages you to choose inputs that nourish you. You might notice that certain news sources, conversations, or online spaces leave you wired and exhausted, while others leave you feeling thoughtful and awake. Your attention is one of your most valuable currencies. Where you place it has direct effects on your health and your prosperity. This month also carries an important healing pattern around your place in the wider world. Friends, colleagues, and networks are mirrors for an old wound about belonging. You might be revisiting situations where you felt overlooked, excluded, or treated as a backup option. Instead of subtly chasing approval in those spaces, you are now invited to ask a new question. Do I actually feel respected and nourished here? If the answer is no, you have permission to redirect your social energy without making yourself wrong. Career-wise, December marks a subtle turning point. You may not be changing jobs immediately, yet your sense of what success means is shifting. The outer markers still matter. Things like recognition, improved pay, a title that reflects your skills. At the same time, you are paying closer attention to how your work feels day to day, whether your schedule leaves space for your body and your relationships, whether the people you work with can handle honest conversation or only small talk and silent resentment. These reflections might lead you to set new boundaries at work or to quietly prepare for a smarter move next year. Your spiritual life is threaded through all of this, even if you do not think of yourself as spiritual in a traditional way. Moments of quiet in December will feel more potent than usual. You might catch phrases in songs, numbers on clocks, or random comments from strangers that seem weirdly well-timed. When you pop into a neutral observer mode and watch your life like a movie for a few minutes, patterns become more obvious. That perspective does not make you detached. It helps you see where your choices are, either feeding or draining the main 3 areas of this month: your health and home, your relationships, your money. The most powerful thing you can do in December is to simplify your yes and your no. Your sign is brilliant at considering every angle, yet that can turn into paralysis. This month invites you to tune into a more direct inner signal. When you think about a particular commitment or relationship, does your chest feel more open or more tight? Does your mind find creative ideas or only excuses and dread? Trust those signals more than the shoulds in your head. Here is a small micro move to anchor this energy. Pick one corner of your home and one recurring commitment in your schedule. The corner might be a desk, a drawer, a table, a bag that always sits by the door. The commitment might be a weekly call, a group chat, a standing favor you do. In the next 2 weeks, clear that one corner so it reflects how you actually want to feel in your space, and either recommit to that one obligation with clear terms or gracefully step back from it. You do not need to reorganize your whole life at once. You only need to give your nervous system a lived experience of what aligned home, health, and time can feel like. As the year comes to a close, you may find yourself replaying choices from earlier in the year. Be kind in how you narrate those memories. You were doing the best you could with the information and emotional tools you had then. December is not a verdict on how you did. It is a chance to integrate what you have learned and walk into the next year with less mental noise and more real support in your body, your heart, and your bank account. Gemini, you do not need to have the whole future scripted out to move in a better direction. You only need to be honest about where your current story leads if you keep telling it the same way. This month, the sky is handing you edits, cleaner home rhythms, truer conversations, braver money choices. If you listen for your other placements, your moon, your rising, and your Venus, you will hear more layers of how this energy wants to work in your life. And if you feel drawn to explore your chart and timing with more tools, you can always visit mysticbolt.com, where tarot spreads, astrology resources, and other apps are ready to support your own process. Take what resonates from this reading and leave what does not. Your life is not written in stone. It lives in your choices. And this December, you are more ready than ever to choose in ways that support your real self.